Have you ever been absolutely sure you were right, only to discover later that you were missing something important? We all do this. In our daily lives, we make quick judgments. We see things from our own perspective and assume that's the only correct view. When someone disagrees with us or sees things differently, our first reaction is often to think, they're wrong. I'm right. End of story. But what if I told you that this mindset is one of the biggest obstacles to our own growth and learning? Today, I'm going to share a beautiful story about a little girl named Emily. Through her simple, innocent answer to a math problem, she taught her teacher, and teaches us, a profound lesson about perspective, patience, and the importance of truly listening before judging. This isn't just a children's story. It's a life lesson wrapped in simplicity. So let's dive in and discover what Emily can teach us all. Our story takes place in a small, picturesque village surrounded by green fields and friendly neighbors. In this village lived a cheerful little girl named Emily. She was about 7 years old, with bright eyes full of curiosity and a smile that could light up any room. Every morning, Emily would wake up excited for the day ahead. She'd put on her school uniform, pack her small backpack with books and notebooks, and walk to school with her friends. The walk itself was an adventure. They'd spot butterflies, collect interesting leaves, and share stories along the way. Emily absolutely loved school. She enjoyed being with her friends, loved art class, adored story time, and looked forward to recess every single day. But there was one subject that filled her with dread: mathematics. Numbers just didn't make sense to her the way they did to other children. While her classmates quickly solved addition and subtraction problems, Emily would sit there, confused and frustrated. Even simple calculations like 3 plus 2 or 7 to 4 required her to count on her fingers, sometimes even twice to make sure. At her age, this wasn't completely unusual. Many children develop math skills at different rates. But as weeks turned into months, and Emily continued to struggle while others advanced, her parents began to worry. They wondered if she needed extra help or special tutoring. Emily herself felt the difference. She noticed how quickly her friends raised their hands with answers while she was still trying to figure out the question. It made her feel small and inadequate, even though she tried her best. But Emily had a secret strength that nobody fully appreciated yet. While numbers confused her, art made perfect sense. Give her crayons, colored pencils, or paints, and Emily would create magic. One sunny Tuesday morning, Mr. Johnson, Emily's kind and patient teacher, announced something that made the whole class erupt with excitement. "Children," he said with a warm smile, "today we're going to have an art session. I want each of you to draw anything you like. Use your imagination. Make it colorful. Make it yours." The classroom buzzed with energy. Children scrambled to get their art supplies. Some pulled out fresh boxes of crayons, others had watercolor sets, and a few had fancy markers. Emily's eyes sparkled. This was her moment. This was where she could shine. She carefully arranged her colored pencils by shade, laid out her eraser and sharpener, and bent over her paper with complete focus. While other children chatted and laughed as they drew, Emily was in her own world, creating something beautiful. She drew a garden scene, flowers of different colors, a smiling sun, butterflies dancing in the air, and a small girl, who looked a lot like her, sitting peacefully under a tree, reading a book. When the drawing time ended, Mr. Johnson walked around the classroom, examining each child's work. There were drawings of families, houses, pets, cartoon characters, and abstract splashes of color. Some were simple, some were messy, but Mr. Johnson appreciated each one. He understood that at this age, it wasn't about perfection, it was about creativity and effort. When he reached Emily's desk, he paused. Her drawing was genuinely impressive. The colors were harmonious, the composition was balanced, and there was a sense of peace and joy in the scene she'd created. Mr. Johnson smiled broadly and wrote in her notebook, "Well done, Emily. Great work. Your picture is really beautiful." He even drew a gold star next to his comment. Emily's heart soared. She read those words over and over again, feeling proud and validated. She thought about how happy her mother would be when she saw this. Finally, something she could be proud of. Finally, something she was truly good at. For that moment, the struggle with math seemed far away. When the bell rang for lunch break, children burst out of the classroom like water from a dam. Some ran to the playground, others headed to their favorite spots under trees, and many rushed to the school canteen. Emily had brought lunch from home, a sandwich and an apple, neatly packed by her mother. But eating alone wasn't fun, so she decided to join her friends who were heading to the canteen to buy snacks. The canteen was run by a friendly lady named Mrs. Peters, who sold small treats, cookies, juice boxes, candy, and fruit. Emily's friends began ordering. "I'll have 2 cookies," said one friend. "I want a juice box and 1 cookie," said another. Mrs. Peters calculated the prices and told them the totals. Emily's friends quickly counted out their coins and paid. Then it was Emily's turn. She wanted a small pack of gummy bears that cost 25 cents and a juice box that cost 30 cents. "That'll be 55 cents, dear," Mrs. Peters said kindly. Emily looked down at the coins in her hand, a quarter, 2 dimes, and several nickels. She started counting slowly, touching each coin, trying to figure out which ones to give. She got confused. Was it this combination or that one? One of her friends, noticing her struggle, stepped in. "Here, Emily, give her this, and this," she said, pointing to the right coins. "Thank you," Emily said quietly, feeling embarrassed. As they walked away, she overheard whispers. "Emily can't even count money," someone said. It wasn't meant to be mean, just an observation, but it stung. Word began to spread among the children. Emily was really weak in math. After lunch, it was time for math class. Emily's stomach tightened. This was the part of the day she dreaded most. Mr. Johnson stood at the front of the classroom with a friendly smile, trying to make math as engaging as possible. He knew that young children learned better with real, tangible examples rather than abstract numbers. So he reached into a basket on his desk and pulled out 3 bright red apples. He held them up for everyone to see. "All right, class," he began enthusiastically, "let's do a fun exercise. I want you to use your imagination." The children settled down, eyes on the apples. "Imagine I give you 1 apple," Mr. Johnson said, holding up 1 apple. "Then I give you another apple." He held up a second. "And then I give you 1 more apple." He held up the third. "Now, tell me, how many apples do you have in total?" Hands shot up immediately. The class answered in unison, 3. "Excellent." Mr. Johnson beamed. "Now let me ask each of you individually." He went around the room. "Tom?" 3, sir. "Sarah?" 3, sir. "Michael?" 3, sir. Then he came to Emily. Her desk was near the window, and she'd been gazing outside, perhaps wishing she could be anywhere but in math class. "Emily?" Mr. Johnson said gently. "How many apples?" Emily snapped back to attention. She looked at the 3 apples on the desk. Then she started counting on her fingers, moving her lips silently. 1, 2, 3, 4. After what felt like a long pause, she looked up with confidence and a proud smile. 5, sir. The classroom went silent. A few children giggled. Others looked confused. Mr. Johnson's smile faltered slightly, but he maintained his patience. He was a seasoned teacher who'd dealt with struggling students before. Mr. Johnson thought for a moment. Perhaps Emily didn't like apples. Maybe she wasn't paying attention because apples didn't interest her. He decided to try a different approach. He put the apples aside and said, "Alright, Emily. Let's try something different. Forget about apples for a moment." Emily looked up, hopeful that maybe this time she'd get it right. "Now imagine," Mr. Johnson continued, "that I give you one strawberry." He held up one finger. "Then I give you another strawberry. A second finger. And then one more strawberry. A third finger. How many strawberries do you have in total?" Emily's face scrunched up in concentration. She counted on her fingers carefully, 1, 2, 3. Then she looked up, this time with genuine confidence, and said clearly, "3, sir." "Excellent!" Mr. Johnson exclaimed, relief washing over his face. "That's absolutely correct. 3 strawberries." Some of the children clapped. Emily smiled, feeling a warm glow of achievement. Mr. Johnson felt encouraged. So Emily could do basic math. She just needed the right approach, the right example. This confirmed his teaching philosophy: every child learns differently. But then curiosity got the better of him. Why could she count strawberries correctly but not apples? He wanted to understand where the confusion was coming from. "Alright, Emily," Mr. Johnson said, picking up the apples again. "Now let's go back to the apples. I want you to count very carefully this time." He approached Emily's desk and held up one apple right in front of her. "I'm giving you one apple." He placed it on her desk. Emily watched it carefully. "Now, I'm giving you another apple." He placed a second apple beside the first. Emily nodded, counting silently. "And now, one more apple." He placed the third apple on her desk. 3 shiny red apples sat in a row on Emily's desk. The whole class watched in silence. "Now, Emily," Mr. Johnson said slowly and clearly, "count the apples. How many do you have?" Emily looked at the 3 apples in front of her. Then, without hesitation, she looked up at Mr. Johnson and said with complete certainty, "4, sir." Mr. Johnson's patience, which had been holding strong all morning, finally began to crack. His voice rose slightly, tinged with frustration. "Emily, look at your desk. Count them. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 apples right in front of you." He took a breath, trying to control his tone. "You counted strawberries correctly. You got 3. But why can't you count 3 apples? I only gave you 3 apples. Why do you keep saying 4? The classroom was completely quiet now. All eyes were on Emily. Some children looked sympathetic, others curious, a few uncomfortable. Emily's face fell. She shrank back in her chair, her earlier confidence evaporating. Her teacher, whom she liked and respected, was upset with her. She felt small and confused. Had she done something wrong? She'd counted carefully. She was sure of her answer. In a tiny, trembling voice, she said something that would change everything. Because I already have 1 apple in my backpack, sir." The words hung in the air. Mr. Johnson froze. His expression shifted from frustration to confusion to sudden understanding. "What did you say?" he asked, his voice now gentle. Emily, still a bit scared, spoke a little louder. "I already have 1 apple in my backpack, sir. My mom packed it for my lunch. So when you give me 3 more, that makes 4 apples total." Mr. Johnson stood there, speechless. Slowly, he walked to Emily's desk and gently asked, "May I see?" Emily nodded and pulled out her small backpack. She unzipped it and took out a shiny green apple, slightly different from the red ones Mr. Johnson had given her, but still an apple. She placed it next to the 3 red apples on her desk. 1, 2, 3, 4. The entire classroom seemed to collectively hold its breath, and then understanding rippled through the room. Emily wasn't wrong. She was answering a different question, the real-world question of how many apples she actually had. not the abstract math question the teacher was asking. Mr. Johnson felt a wave of emotions, embarrassment at his own frustration, admiration for Emily's logical thinking, and a profound realization about perspective. He knelt down beside Emily's desk so he was at her eye level. "Emily," he said softly, "you're absolutely right. If you already had 1 apple, and I gave you 3 more, you would indeed have 4 apples. I'm sorry I raised my voice. You were thinking practically, and that's actually very smart." Emily's face brightened. She wasn't wrong after all. Mr. Johnson stood up and addressed the whole class, turning this moment into a teaching opportunity. "Class, what just happened here is very important. I want you all to listen carefully." The children sat up, paying attention. I asked Emily a question, and she gave me an answer I didn't expect. My first reaction was to think she was wrong. But she wasn't wrong, she was just thinking about the question differently than I was. He picked up the 4 apples, 3 red, 1 green, and held them up. In math class, when I ask 1 + 1 + 1 = what, the answer is 3. That's abstract mathematics. But in real life, Emily was thinking about the complete picture. She included what she already had. He paused, letting this sink in. This teaches us something valuable. Just because someone gives a different answer doesn't mean they're wrong. They might be seeing something we're not seeing. Mr. Johnson walked around the classroom as he continued. Think about it this way. If I ask, what makes 10, you might say, 5 + 5. And you'd be right. But someone else might say, 6 + 4. Also right. Another person might say 3 + 7 or 8 + 2 or even 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. All of these answers are correct. Different paths, same destination. The children nodded, beginning to understand. In life, we'll meet many people who think differently than us. They'll have different solutions, different perspectives, different answers. That doesn't automatically make them wrong and us right. Sometimes, like Emily, they're seeing the bigger picture. From that day forward, Mr. Johnson changed the way he taught. He became more patient, more open to different perspectives, and more careful about understanding where his students were coming from before correcting them. As for Emily, she continued to struggle with abstract math, but she worked on it with new confidence. She realized that her way of thinking, practical, real world, connected to her actual life, wasn't a weakness. It was just different. And her classmates learned something too. They learned to listen before judging, to ask questions before dismissing someone's answer, and to appreciate that different minds work in different ways. So what can we take away from Emily's story? First, perspective matters. What seems obviously wrong to you might make perfect sense from someone else's point of view. Before you judge, try to understand where they're coming from. Second, there are multiple solutions to most problems. In math, in work, in relationships, in life, rarely is there only one right way. Stay open to different approaches. Third, listen more, judge less. When someone gives you an unexpected answer, your first response shouldn't be to correct them. It should be to understand them. Ask, why do you think that, instead of immediately saying, you're wrong. Fourth, different doesn't mean deficient. Emily thought differently. That didn't make her less intelligent. In fact, her practical, context-aware thinking showed a different kind of intelligence. And finally, patience and understanding open doors that frustration and judgment close. If Mr. Johnson had simply marked Emily wrong and moved on, this beautiful teaching moment would have been lost. In our daily lives, we encounter Emily moments all the time. Someone at work suggests a solution we think is wrong. A family member sees a situation completely differently than we do. A friend makes a choice we don't understand. Before we rush to judgment, let's remember the little girl with the apple in her backpack. Let's ask questions. Let's listen deeply. Let's remember that our perspective, no matter how clear it seems to us, is still just one perspective. The world is richer, more complex, and more beautiful than any single viewpoint can capture. Listen first. Understand second. Judge last, if at all. Thank you for listening to Emily's story. I hope it changes the way you see others, and perhaps even the way you see yourself. If this story touched you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment about a time when you realized your perspective wasn't the only valid one. And join me again for more stories that teach us about life, compassion, and understanding. Until next time, remember, different isn't wrong, it's just different.